Thank you, Martina. All the guests from online to offline, good afternoon, everyone. I am Carol Yu. I'm very delighted to host the opening ceremony of the Global Tourism Economy Forum at Macao, the beautiful World Tourism and Leisure Center, as well as the core city of the Greater Bay Area. And now, welcome to the opening ceremony of the GTEF. Now, may we have a round of applause to welcome Vice Chairman of the CPPCC and the Chairman of the GTEF, Mr. Ho Haohua, and representing Mr. Ho Yat-seng, the Chief Executive of the Macao SAR, Ms. Ouyuan Yu, Secretary for Social Affairs and Culture of the Macao SAR, to enter the venue together with our officiating guests. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished leaders, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the Global Tourism Economy Forum Macao 2020. 2020 is bound to profoundly affect the history and civilization of mankind. The novel coronavirus pandemic continues to raging around the world, and it has brought severe challenges to the global tourism industry. So cooperation between government and enterprises is imminent, and unity and collaboration are imperative. So today, at today's forum, with the theme of solidarity and innovation, reshaping tourism in the new global economy, the forum combines online and offline formats for the first time, breaking geographical and time constraints and bringing together the world's top political, business, and academic leaders to discuss how to reshape the tourism industry through innovation and respond to the world's new normal. And today, we have also invited Gansu province, which is rich in history and tourism and cultural resources, as our featured province, and they will share with us more later. And today, we have invited leaders from the most authoritative public institutions and private companies in China and the world to share how they can work together to restart the tourism industry and create innovative solutions to promote economic recovery and drive millions of jobs. Our forum today will be broadcast live so that friends from all over the world can join us and participate. So before inviting our guests to share how to work together to promote the recovery of the tourism economy, please pay attention to the screen first. Today, we are very honored to have invited many distinguished officiating guests to attend the opening ceremony of the Global Tourism Economy Forum 2020. Let us extend a warm welcome and heartfelt thanks. And now I will invite all the officiating guests to preside over the ceremony and take a group photo together. At the same time, we would also like to invite our online guests to participate in this ceremony. First, Mr. Hubert Wong, President and Chief Operating Officer of MGM China Holdings Limited. Macao Resorts and Entertainment Board Director, Mr. Clarence Zhong. Group Advisor of the Galaxy Entertainment Group, Dr. George Neto Valente. and Vice Chairman and Executive Director of Win Macao Limited, Ms. Linda Chen. President and Executive Director of Sense China Limited, Dr. Wilfred Wong. Co-chairman of the SJM Holdings Limited, Ms. Angela Leung. President of the Macao Trade and Investment Promotion Institute, Mr. Lau Waimeng. Director of the Macao Government Tourism Office and the Vice Chairman of the GTEF, Ms. Maria Helena de Sena Fernandes. Consul General of the Consulate General of Italy in Hong Kong, Mr. Clemente. Former President and Chief Executive Officer of WTTC and Vice Chairman of GTEF, Mr. Jean-Claude Baumgarten. President of Council of China Chamber of Tourism and Vice Chairman of GTEF, Ms. Wang Ping. Honorary Chairman of the GTEF and Vice Chairman of the GTERC, Mr. Michael Franso. Chairman of Micro Chinese Enterprises Association and Chairman of Board of Namguang Group, Mr. Fu Jianguo. Chairman of China Chamber of Tourism, Mr. Ji Xiaodong. Chief Executive Officer of the PATA, Dr. Mario Hardy. Executive Director of European Travel Commission and the Honorary Vice Chairman of Global Tourism Economy Forum, Mr. Eduardo Santanda. Secretary General of WTA, Mr. Liu Shijun. Secretary General of WTCF, Mr. Chen Dong. Director General of Tourism Council of Bhutan, Dr. Doji. Vice Chairman of the European Parliament's Committee on Transport and Tourism, Dr. Isvan Uhihe, and Vice Chairman and Secretary General of GTEF, Ms. Pansy Ho. Secretary for Economy and Finance of the Macao SAR Government and the Executive Chairman of GTEF, Mr. Lei Wainong. Secretary General of IMTA, Mr. He Yafei. Co-Chairman of SIEF and the Honorary Chairman of GTEF, Mr. Long Yongtu. Vice Governor of the People's Government of Hubei Province, Mr. Zhang Wenbin. Ministry of Tourism of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Ejimada Hatib. Chairperson of the CCPIT and the Honorary Chairman of GTEF, Ms. Gao Yan. Acting Commissioner of the Office of the Commissioner of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the PRC in the Macao SAR, Ms. Wang Dong. Secretary General of UNWTO, Mr. Zurab Pololikashvili. Representative of Mr. Ho Yat-sen, Chief Executive of the Macao SAR, Secretary for Social and Cultural Affairs of Macao SAR, Ms. Ouyang Yu. Director of Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macao SAR, Mr. Fu Ziying. Vice Chairman of National Committee of CPPCC, Chairman of All China Federation of Industry and Commerce, Honorary Chairman of GTEF, Mr. Gao Yunlong. Vice Chairman of National Committee of the CPPCC, Forum Chairman of the GTEF, Mr. Ho Haowa. Now, I would like to invite all the on-site and online guests to face the front camera and take a group photo together to record this precious moment. Thank you for all the guests from the online. Please, may we keep the officiating guests on site to stay on the stage and take another group photo. Thank you very much. May we invite the guests on the stage to move and then be seated. And today we have gathered a lot of distinguished guests here. And we have a saying that is, reading thousands of books is not as good as walking thousands of miles. Tourism can lead us to understand the world, broaden our horizons, and make an important contribution to economic development. And last year, the tourism industry contributed more than 10% to global GDP and employment. And this year, the novel coronavirus pandemic has caused the world to face a severe economic recession and social crisis, and more than 190 million jobs are at stake. And we can see that at this time, leaders in the public and private sectors urgently need to take action to use solidarity and cooperation to resolve crises and seize new opportunities. The Global Tourism Economy Forum is China's first high-level international platform that advocates private-public cooperation and promotes the sustainable development of tourism. And today, it is very rare that we have many important figures in the travel industry gathering online and offline to think about and plan for the future development together. Now, I would like to invite our guest to give us a speech. Vice Chairman of the National Committee of the CPPCC and the Chairman of the GTEF, Mr. Ho Haowa, to give us a welcome remark.
Chief Executive of Macao SAR Region, Ho Yunlong, Chairman of All China Federation of Industry and Commerce, Yunlong, and Ouyang Yu, Secretary of the Macao SAR, distinguished guest, Secretary General of UNWTO, Zurab Pololikashvili, Mr. Fu Jingyin, of the Director of the Liaison Office in Macau of the Central Government, guests and friends around the world, good afternoon. As the Chairman of the Global Tourism Economy Forum, I have the great pleasure to announce the annual Global Tourism Economy Forum is held in Macau today as scheduled. And first of all, I think the industry of tourism around the world are gathered here, and we are here to provide comments, ideas for the industry. The world is facing one of the most unanticipated events of the century. The pandemic has certainly brought major challenges to all of us. However, as the destiny of mankind is highly connected, we face the same threats and challenges together. And there's a great need to strengthen our cooperation and jointly respond to the new global landscape. The 9th edition of the Global Tourism Economy Forum takes on the theme Solidarity and Innovation, Reshaping Tourism in the New Global Economy, calling for a closer and more extensive international cooperation across all industry and sectors under the spirit of solidarity and innovation, leveraging technological innovations to establish new business models, stimulate development of digital markets, and inject new momentum for enhancing the resilience and vitality of the tourism economy. In addition to strengthen bilateral, multilateral, and regional cooperation for pushing forward the overall recovery of the global economy. Breaking geographical and time zone barriers, this edition of the GTEF takes on a brand new hybrid online and offline approach through the use of the innovative technology, marking a solid step forward towards the strategic development of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area. Dear guests, friends, As an important node of the Belt Road Initiative, Macau holds key advantages through its administrative structure of one country and two systems. It continues to implement its unique strategic positioning of one center, one platform, one base to fully unleash its core functions as a central city in the Greater Bay Area. The GTEF held in Macau leverages Macau's advantage as a connector of the East and West and of China and the world. And Macau has hosted the Global Tourism Economy Forum, promoting it as an international platform that promotes sustainable development of the tourism industry. The positive impacts of this platform have become apparent. The world is at the cusp of a new beginning. Let us jointly build an open, inclusive, comprehensive, balanced, and mutually beneficial future. I sincerely wish the GTEF all a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ho. And in this, we can feel that Macau is very special. And there are only 46 cases confirmed of COVID-19 cases in Macau, and there are no more afterwards. And we can feel that the atmosphere of people and the society cooperating with each other. And Macau is doing very great in this period. And now we would like to invite representative of Mr. Ho Yat-sen, Chief Executive of Macau SAR, Ms. Yunlong, Secretary for Social and Cultural Affairs, Government of Macau SAR, to deliver a welcome remark. Your Excellency, Vice Chairman of the National Committee of the CPPCC, Mr. Ho Hawa. Your Excellency, Mr. Fu Ziying, Director of the Liaison Office of the PRC in Macau SAR. Ms. Wang Dong, Acting Commissioner of the Commissioner Office of PRC in Macau SAR. Dear guests and friends, good afternoon. Today, on behalf of the Chief Executive of Macau SAR, Mr. Ho Yat-sen, I would like to extend my warmest welcome and heartfelt thanks to all the organizers, government officials, experts, and friends and guests and delegates from all around the world. Thank you for coming to today's opening ceremony. This is a very special year, which is full of challenges. The novel coronavirus is going on and have brought a massive impact to the whole world's tourism industry. According to the statistics, in the first 8 months in 2020, the number of tourists has decreased to 70%, and many tourism industries and sectors are being impacted. And with the spread of the COVID-19, the global tourism, the recovery of the world tourism is facing a lot of uncertainties, and Macau is a tourism destination for many tourists. And in Macau, the entertainment industry is also impacted very much. And under the support of the central government, we have done many jobs and measures to do in regarding the epidemic prevention and control, and we have already seen very fruitful achievements, and our citizens are resuming their work. And now Macau is a very safe city for travel. Starting from August, as there are tourists from the mainland coming to Macau to travel, we can see there are more and more travelers coming to Macau, and our recovery are heading in an optimistic way. And with these new challenges, we need to work together and to reshape our tourism industry and to rebuild our confidence. As what President Xi Jinping has said, all the humans in the world is a community with shared future. And facing these challenges, nobody can escape. And we should. And the only thing we can do is to work together and cooperate with each other and to think of solutions to reshape the tourism industry. And on this forum, we can see that there are many scholars and experts gathering and discussing with each other how to reboost our tourism economy and to contribute and to inject new momentum to the world tourism industry and to explore new opportunities and new ways for development, as well as to inject new fatalities for Macau tourism industry. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, the Macau world is facing the unprecedented challenges that in a century. And the Chinese government is also promoting a dual cycle development pattern where domestic and international cycles are cooperating with each other. And Macau will continue to strictly follow one country, two system, and to position ourselves in the national strategy. And we will make good use of our unique advantages and regional advantages to give full play to our functions of our platform and to run the dual cycle development pattern of the nation, and to build and to contribute to the construction of the Belt and Road, and to further strengthen the cooperation with the cities in the Greater Bay Area in the fields of science and technology, and as well as innovation. And at the time we are promoting our diversified economic development, we are also doing a lot of contribution for opening up of the country. And the GTEF is the first China's high-level cooperation platform, which is also the first forum and global event where global speakers and scholars are coming together. And in the past 8 editions, we can see there are many fruitful achievements. And today, this is our first time to use both online and offline method to hold the forum. And thank you for all the friends from abroad and from home and abroad. And we hope that the COVID-19 pandemic will end soon so that next year more friends and guests will be able to come to Macau and join us. The pandemic will end very soon, and we are very optimistic about the future of the world tourism. And last but not least, I wish a great success of the GTEF and wish you all good health and good life. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ouyang. Macau is a small place with 30 square kilometers and 500,000 people, but it's a node connecting China with the world. And I think Macau will reestablish itself in the post-pandemic era to build a new success, a new brand for Macau. And this year's GTEF is the first time we use offline and online sessions to carry out discussions. And we have a few guests online. The first one is Mr. Gao Yunlong, chairman of the All China Federation of Industry and Commerce, and he's going to deliver a keynote speech. Thank you. Distinguished Mr. He Huhua, Chairman He Huhua, and Mr. Zurab, ladies, gentlemen, friends, good afternoon. First of all, we're at the time of the global pandemic, and when we're fighting the pandemic, this is an important moment, and I'm very pleased to be here online to be together with you on the cloud, so to speak. First of all, on behalf of the All China Federation of Industry and Commerce, I would like to extend my congratulations to the 9th edition of the GTEF. 2020 will be a very remarkable year in the history, in human history. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought great impact on our lives and the global economy. In China, under the leadership of President Xi Jinping, we carried out anti-pandemic measures domestically, and we have become the first to reopen our economy and to record positive growth in the world. Internationally, we have been showing our image as a responsible nation. We support the WHO in its effort fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. We also provide support to other countries and international organizations as much as we can, which has been recognized by the global community. During this period, the Chinese private sector has provided materials, logistics, technologies, and other types of support. And I think that's something we have all seen. The Chinese private sector contributed greatly to the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. And at this moment, the COVID-19 around the world hasn't been controlled, and the world economy is in recession. And there's thinking of against globalization, which is not correct. Against this backdrop, the Chinese private sector is willing to work with Chinese people and the business sectors, industries, to overcome this difficult period of time. And I believe the humankind will overcome the pandemic ultimately, and the darkest hour will be in the past. Our bright future is right in front of us. As you know, people like poetry and people like places in far away. And this is where we attach our hope. Recently, the Chinese Communist Party's 19th Central Committee plenary was held in Beijing, where the 14th five-year plan and the vision of 2030 was reviewed and approved. This sets the blueprint for China's development in the next 5 years, and indeed in the long term. It was pointed out that China will enter into a new development stage with quality development as the theme. And the domestic economic circulation will be established, and the dual circulation of international and the domestic economic circulation will be actually established as well. Tourism, with its idea of poem and distant land, will bring us more development opportunities. Over the years, Macao has been forging the World Center for Tourism and Leisure, and it has positioned itself in the global tourism economy. The GTEF has been a platform promoting the economic development of the Macao SAR. As we heard from Ms. Ouyang Yu, that we have made great achievements in Macao, and I agree with that very, very much. And this year, the theme of the GTEF is Solidarity and Innovation, Reshaping Tourism in the New Global Economy. This is also a very significant moment for the industry. And I think the forum will bring back the confidence for the industry, and it will also bring back the confidence in Macao around the world, which will promote and stimulate Macao's further development. And I would like to offer some proposals here. Firstly, we need to uphold the ideal of openness and inclusiveness. Openness and cooperation is the basis for technological advancement and economic development. And as I said earlier, we are in the era of the fourth industrial revolution with digital economy as the backbone. Openness and inclusiveness are logical for this type of development, and this is something we must follow. Under this backdrop, we in China will uphold the standard of openness and inclusiveness, and tourism economy is a typical open economy, so to speak. And we are against the recent trend of anti-globalization. We must uphold our openness and inclusiveness and to make use of the multilateral mechanism of this industry, providing quality development for the future and to build a platform for all of us in the industry. The businesses in tourism must seize this opportunity to utilize the cooperation network to complement each other, providing a solid foundation for further development of the global tourism economy. Secondly, I would like to offer the idea of development driven by innovation. As we know, the new round of technological revolution is underway as we speak. And we must follow the trends of digitalization, internet economy, and intelligent and smart technologies to upgrade the tourism industry. Some of the Chinese private businesses in the internet, in e-commerce and creative and culture industry are very willing to innovate, to create, and some of them are doing very well indeed, pushing forward the industry towards the internet plus tourism. The private sector must work with the overseas markets to take advantage of the new technologies to unlock the potential of tourism industry, providing convenient and smart tourism experiences. Thirdly, we must share what we achieve, our achievements. I think it's important to share, which makes us more happy. To share, this is the only way to expand our circle of friends. Peace and development is still the theme of the world these days. Countries around the world have different potentials and resources in tourism, and also they have different development stages. We must share our experiences, which is going to be beneficial to all of us. In the post-pandemic era, the tourism industry must learn from each other in terms of contents, creativity, markets, and positioning. And we must deepen our trust with each other to work, to grow together. The Chinese private sector has gained a lot of experience, and we have many lessons learned in terms of digitalization in tourism and resources sharing, and we're willing to work with our counterparts around the world to have more achievements in the future, to bring us together, to bring all countries around the world together so that we can benefit from the industry together and to provide further impetus to the growth and recovery of this industry. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, the COVID pandemic slowed down our steps. However, I don't think it will stop us from having high hopes. And I hope all of us here will learn from each other, will offer ideas to pave a successful road towards the future. And last but not least, I would like to wish all the success of the GTEF, and I wish you all the success, prosperity, and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gao. And we can see that China is winning the battle combating COVID-19. And China is also providing support on both our medical side or technological to other places or countries as well. And next, we will invite the Secretary General of UNWTO, Mr. Zurab Pololikashvili, to deliver an opening speech.
Excellencies, dear Mr. Hua, dear friend, representative of Mr. Ieong, Secretary for Social Affairs and Culture of the Government of Macao, Mr. Gao Yunlong, dear Minister Excellency, Mr. Heping, Your Excellency, Minister from Saudi Arabia, Ahmed Al-Khatib, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's a pleasure to greet you today from beautiful Lisbon. My heart and my mind is in Macau now. Thank you to the Global Tourism Economy Forum for organizing this event. And thank you, dear Ambassador Pan Siho, a long time and strong ally of UNWTO, for your leadership and ongoing commitment to growing and guiding tourism. Under your direction, Macau has emerged as a tourism leader, and this forum is established as a highlight on the tourism calendar. From the start, our organization has been proud to be a close partner of the Global Tourism Economy Forum. As we lead the restart of our sector, we look forward to our continued collaboration. Tourism now strong, united, and UNWTO Global Tourist Crisis Committee, which meets for a seventh time later today here in Lisbon, shows the power of cooperation by bringing together leaders from across the public and private sectors. We have won unprecedented support for tourism from the United Nations, from governments, and from international organizations. When tourism workers and business needed us the most, we stepped up to help them. From the start of the crisis, tourism has lived up its responsibilities as a people-first sector, making public health and well-being a priority. And today, this solidarity was clear at every level, from government safeguarding workers to hotels making rooms available for key workers. The theme of this year for forum could not be more appropriated, therefore, than solidarity and innovation, reshaping tourism in the new global economy. And we need to carry this same spirit forward as we reshape tourism in the new global economy. To achieve this, we need to work smarter and not only just harder. Innovation will go a longer way towards making this possible. And our innovation and startup competitions have shown the diversity of talent our sector can count on. We are identifying new ideas and hearing new voices. Innovation and entrepreneurship are key to restarting tourism. New technology can accelerate the return of safe and seamless travel, above all through enhancing tourist confidence. Innovation can also ensure that the benefits tourism offers are felt more widely and fairly, creating new jobs and providing opportunities for those who might otherwise be left behind. The power of new ideas is on display in Macao, our host today. As you know, Macao is a true global hub of technological innovation. It showcases tourism's ability to adopt and lead from the front. For this reason, we can be confident that tourism will bounce back and its restart will be driven by sustainability and inclusivity. On behalf of the World Tourism Organization, I once again congratulate you for the ongoing success of the Global Tourism Economy Forum. And I'm encouraged to see that we will end 2020 strong, sharing knowledge and identifying solutions to grow back stronger and better. I want to wish you all an interesting and productive day, and I look forward to meeting with you in person soon in Macao in 2021. Cecil.
Thank you, Mr. Zurab. Can awaken us during this difficult time and bring people together and unite us rather than divide us. And hopefully with the vaccines becoming available, borders can be reopened again. 接下来我们有请线上的嘉宾，中华人民共和国。
Our next speaker is Mr. Heping, the Minister of Culture and Tourism, Minister and the Party Secretary. Mr. He Hua, Mr. He Yesing, Mr. Gao Yunlong, and Mr. Zurab. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. At a time when COVID-19 pandemic is still spreading around the globe and the development of world tourism is facing serious challenges, it is very timely and necessary for the Macao SAR government to hold GTEF online to talk about development of the world tourism industry in the face of the pandemic, which is very necessary, and it is very important for the recovery and development of world tourism. On behalf of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism of the People's Republic of China, I would like to extend my warmest congratulations on the successful holding of the GTEF and extend my sincere greetings to all Chinese and foreign guests attending the event. The COVID-19 pandemic is the most serious global public health emergency since the end of the Second World War. In the face of the pandemic, the Chinese government regards people's lives as the top priority. President Xi Jinping personally took charge, and the 1.4 billion Chinese people united in their efforts, achieving significant strategic results in the fight against the pandemic. Against the backdrop of the epidemic, we are also leading in the world in controlling the pandemic and restoring positive economic growth. Against the backdrop of the pandemic, the Macao SAR government has responded promptly, carried out scientific prevention and control, and effectively curbed the spread of the pandemic, with no new cases appearing for more than 5 months. It is believed that under the strong leadership of the central government, with the support of major strategies and policies, such as the construction of the Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macao Greater Bay Area and the support for Macao to build a functional platform for the Belt and Road Initiative, and with the joint effort of the Macao SAR government and the public, Macao's economy and social life will definitely recover quickly and will usher in a new era and great development. And Macao's role as the world center of tourism and leisure and trade cooperation services platform between China and Portuguese-speaking countries. Ladies and gentlemen, tourism is one of the world's largest international industries and one of the industries most severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This year's GTEF continues to focus on the trends of world tourism and promote international cooperation in the tourism industry. Under the theme of solidarity and innovation, reshaping tourism in the new global economy, the forum has invited representatives from various government, tourism ministries, agencies, industry leaders, experts, scholars, which will have a positive impact on the global tourism industry in facing the challenges together. Looking at the world situation, the COVID-19 pandemic has increased the number of unstable and uncertain factors in the world economy. However, the general trend of countries moving towards openness and cooperation has never changed. The recently held 5th plenary session of the 19th Central Committee of the Communist Party proposed that China will base itself on a new stage of development, adapt to the new development situations, and accelerate the establishment of a new development pattern whereby domestic and foreign markets can boost each other. In this process, tourism, as a typical comprehensive and open industry, will continue to give full play to its advantages in terms of stabilizing growth and employment and boosting consumption, and make greater contributions to relying on the domestic market, smoothing out domestic economic circulation and international economic circulations. The Ministry of Culture and Tourism of the PRC is willing to strengthen exchanges and cooperation with government tourism departments and agencies around the world to create opportunities and solve problems through openness and cooperation to contribute more to a high-quality development of world tourism. In this regard, I would like to offer these proposals. Firstly, we should insist on mutual benefit and deepen international tourism cooperation. All countries in the world are in a community with a shared future, and adherence to extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits is an inevitable choice for dealing with difficulties and challenges. China is willing to work with other countries to carry out multilateral, bilateral, and regional tourism exchanges and cooperation more extensively to speed up the recovery and revitalization of the world tourism industry. Secondly, we should strengthen coordination and optimize the business environment for tourism. The tourism industry has a wide coverage, high relevance, and a long industry chain. We shall base ourselves on the requirements of high-quality development and continuously modernize the industry chain and supply chain. Businesses are the main market players and the development foundations of the tourism industry. We shall make concerted efforts to coordinate the use of resources and to launch comprehensive measures to help tourism businesses to get over these difficult times. At the same time, we shall optimize the business environment and continue to stimulate the vitality of tourism market players to create a favorable environment. Thirdly, we shall spur innovation and creativity and improve the quality of tourism development. Innovation is the primary force guiding development. Faced with the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, we shall support innovative development of tourism industry, introduce more new businesses forms, new entities, and new models. We shall also adapt to the requirements of information technology, making good use of new technologies such as 5G, big data, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence, developing smart tourism, and also promoting reservations, limited and off-peak trips to provide tourists with a safer and more comfortable travel experiences. Last but not least, I wish all the success of the 9th edition of GTEF and a fruitful discussion for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hu. And Churchill once said, we can never waste one crisis. I hope that governments, they are not only solving those crises, but also gathering all the people together to face the new challenges. Next, we would like to invite Vice Chairman of the Gansu Provincial Committee of the CPPCC, Mr. Hao Yuan. Your Excellency, Vice Chairman Mr. Ho Hawa, Vice Chairman Mr. Gao Yunlong, Mr. Ho Yasing, Your Excellency Secretary General Mr. Zurab, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone. At this special moment when countries around the world are fighting against the novel coronavirus pandemic, the Macao SAR government overcomes all the difficulties to hold the 9th World Tourism Economy Forum, the 9th Global Tourism Economy Forum as scheduled. And on behalf of the Gansu Provincial Committee of the CPPCC and the People's Government of Gansu Province, I would like to extend my warmest congratulations on the hosting of the forum. Gansu is an important cradle of Chinese civilization and an important repository of cultural resources for the Chinese people. The Silk Road stretches across Gansu, where Dunhuang culture, Great Wall culture, Yellow River culture, ancestral culture, and other cultures shine together, making it the core section with the most distinctive and unique style of communication and fusion between the East and the West. As a golden gateway between Europe and Asia, Gansu is a vast area with beautiful natural scenery, including the Low's plateau, vast grasslands, and white glaciers, which form a majestic and magnificent picture, and the whole terrain is like a jade handle. It is these gifts of history and nature that have shaped the rich regional customs and diverse cultural qualities of Silk Road in symphony, Gansu in harmony. In 2013, President Xi Jinping proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, giving new life and new missions to the ancient Silk Road, which is 1,000 years old, and also bringing significant opportunities for Gansu's development, especially the development of cultural and travel industries. In recent years, Gansu has taken the cultural and travel industry as a core industry and the first industry to be integrated into the construction of the Belt and Road and to promote green development. In 2019, the province received 370 million domestic tourists with a total domestic tourism revenue of 267.6 billion yuan, an increase of 24% and 30% respectively over the previous year. At the beginning of this year, in the face of the sudden onslaught of the novel coronavirus pandemic sweeping the world, the province, under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee and the State Council, and with the generous help of many international organizations and international friends, achieved significant strategic results in the prevention and control of the epidemic. And from January, and we have created favorable conditions for the rapid recovery of the cultural tourism industry from January to October, and the province has received a total of 188 billion tourists. At present, the global pandemic has not yet fully brought under control, and countries around the world are generally facing the task of fighting the epidemic and stabilizing their economies and safeguarding their livelihoods, with cultural tourism suffering an unprecedented impact. And it can be said that we need to build consensus and innovate in order to revive the world tourism economy. And I would like to make 3 suggestions. Firstly, the government and enterprises should work together to stimulate the restoration potential of the market itself. In the long run, the long-term benefits of the tourism market will not change, and the general trend of upgrading tourism consumption will not change. In the face of the epidemic, the government and enterprises should work together to tide over the difficult times, and the government should strengthen financial support for tourism market players, reduce tax burdens, lower operating costs, and increase stabilization efforts so that enterprises can lighten their load and work together to accelerate the recovery in the tourism industry. Secondly, we should carry out deep market penetration and effectively activate the development energy led by innovation. To innovate is to seek the future. At this time of critical survival of the tourism industry, we should focus on changing the old business model and strive to seek motivation and survival through innovation. Thirdly, we should work hard to create a mutually beneficial and win-win cooperation situation. Gansu's cultural and tourism resources are among the top 5 in the country, and Dunhuang culture has attracted the world's attention with its unique charm. Gansu will continue to host the Silk Road Dunhuang International Cultural Expo and the Dunhuang Tour Silk Road International Tourism Festival to vigorously promote peaceful cooperation, openness and inclusiveness, mutual learning, mutual benefit, and win-win cooperation. In the spirit of the Silk Road, we will continue to strengthen cultural tourism exchanges and cooperation with countries and regions along the Belt and Road and strive to promote innovation and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, in August last year, President Xi Jinping, when he is conducting a field trip in Gansu, he asked us to take advantage of our unique cultural and natural heritage, coordinate the preservation and development of tourism resources, improve tourism facilities and basic services, and amplify the comprehensive effect of cultural tourism. Today's Gansu is about to tear off the historical label of bitterness and build a moderately prosperous society in all-round way. The 1,000-mile Gansu Plain is becoming the home of beautiful production, beautiful life, and ecological beauty, and the cultural tourism industry in Gansu is also flourishing with unprecedented vitality. I sincerely hope that when the epidemic is over and the spring flowers bloom, all of you will be able to come to Gansu for sightseeing and to experience the rich and diversified culture of Gansu and the connotation and charm of Silk Road in symphony, Gansu in harmony. I sincerely hope that you will come to Gansu, prosper and create wealth in Gansu, seize the opportunities with us, and let the spring breeze of cooperation and development reach human paths in Gansu and work together to turn Gansu into a world-class cultural tourist destination. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2012, Gansu was the featured province at the first edition of the GTEF and was deeply involved in the innovation and transformation of the global tourism industry. And we are honored to have Gansu as the featured province again in 2020 GTEF to offer advice on the global tourism industry in this crisis. Who believes that the journey to the West begins from now on and there is one sky beyond the other. In the face of the new challenges in tourism economic development, Gansu will remain confident and uphold the concepts of openness and inclusiveness, beauty and coexistence, and work with you to paint a new splendor in cultural tourism. Finally, I would like to wish all of you all the best for your work, prosperity and good health. I wish this year's GTEF a great success. Thank you very much.
Circle trade route, connecting the East with the West, and is a tourist route that attracts numerous tourists. During the route's prosperous period, brave trade caravans started from Chang'an, a capital of ancient China, passed through the He corridor, crossed over the Pamirs and eventually reached Europe. The Silk Road in Gansu province is over 1,600 kilometers long and accounts for 1/4 of the entire Silk Road in length. Also, there are numerous historical relics and varied landforms here. So Gansu is called the golden part of the Silk Road. Passing by Tianshui and Pingliang, 2 major portals along the Silk Road, travelers move westward, passing by Lanzhou, Wuwei, Jinchang, Jiangye, Jiuqian, and Jiayuguan, and reach Dunhuang, these famous historical and cultural cities being linked like a string of pearls. Tianshui is the cradle of the Chinese nationality, where Chinese people multiplied and grew civilized. Here was born Fu Xi, father of Chinese civilization, for whom a national-level grand public memorial ceremony is held here every year. In Maiji Mountain, which looks like a stack of wheat, there are over 7,000 sculptures made in different Chinese dynasties. Here, tourists can have an overview of the artistic history of Chinese Buddhism, and enjoy the most exquisite Chinese sculptures. Kongtong Mountain in Pingliang is renowned as the #1 mountain of Taoism. It is the mythical site where the Yellow Emperor, also known as Huangdi, or his given name, Xuan Yuan, sought advice on administering the country and how to stay in good health from Guanchengzi, the progenitor of Taoism. Lanzhou is the only provincial capital that the Yellow River passes through. The beef noodles here deeply impress the never-satiated tourists. The beef noodles, the Xinjiang Opera, the ancient water wheels and the sheep-hide rafts constitute a scene of unique folk customs in the city. The Yellow River originates in Qinghai and takes shape in Gansu, as it flows for 913 kilometers through Gansu province and forms various wonderfully engraved landscapes by eroding the banks. The Yellow River Stone Forest in Jingtai is a grand and magnificent canyon stone forest within the long, winding Yellow River. In northern China, there are 3 gorges of the Yellow River, whereas in southern China, there are 3 gorges of the Changjiang River. Here you can see the well-known Bingling Grottos, mist-covered high gorges and huge lakes, the Danxia Stone Forest with thousands of peaks, rare dinosaur footprints, and migrating birds in flocks and flowery Taiji wetland, which jointly constitute the magnificent wonders of Linxiahui Autonomous Prefecture, lying in the upper reaches of the Yellow River. Linxia is also the hometown of Hua-Er, flower, the folk song popular in northwest China. Gan'an, a land of snow and Buddhism closest to China's hinterland. If one could say that life is a predestined yet unexpected meeting, let's come here to feel the power of faith and experience a land that lies between a fluctuant mountain chain and extensively shaded steppe to feel our souls soar free. Heading westward from Lanzhou, we enter the well-known Heshi Corridor. Wu Wei is an ancient city with a history of over 2,000 years. The well-known galloping horse treading on a flying swallow, unearthed here, has become the tourism sign of the country. It is the legendary flying horse. The Baita Temple in Wu Wei witnessed the history that Tibet was included in China. The sea of fragrant lavender make Jinshan China's nickel capital, the most romantic tourist destination along the Heshi Corridor. Without a look at the snow on top of Qinlian Mountain, you may mistake Ganzhou for a place in the south of the Yangtze River. These 2 poetic lines talk about Zhangye, an oasis in the Gobi Desert, which is well known for its colorful rock mountains in the Zhangye Danxia Landform Geological Park, one of the world's top 10 geographic wonders. In addition, in Zhangye, there is the largest and oldest royal stud farm in Asia. In ancient times, there were flying apsaras, and in modern times, there is the aerospace industry. This makes a vivid description of Juqian. Juqian, a city closely related to alcohol. Huo Qubing, a senior general during the Han Dynasty, poured the liquor granted by the emperor into a spring and drank it with his warriors. Since then, the city has been called Juqian. If one heads westward along the Heshi Corridor, one can see the ancient Silk Road and the Great Wall, which meet at the foot of a snow-capped mountain in Jiayuguan. If Dunhuang can be called the crossroad where the world's 4 major cultures meet, the Mogao Grotto should be called a sacred cultural temple of humanity. The Mogao Grottos consist of over 700 caves, over 2,400 sculptures, 45,000 square meters of wall paintings, and over 50,000 Dunhuang documents, constituting a Buddhist paradise in the oasis of the Gobi Desert. Here we have a travel back to 2,000 years ago. The wonderful architecture and decorations, together with the beacon towers along the pass, encourage one to strike up a vivid dialogue with history. The long winding camel caravans, the never-ceasing crescent spring, and the wonderful great Yardan landform are all breathtaking. The once difficult journeys and treks along the Silk Road have become past memories. The Baolan high-speed rail has solved the last kilometer problem for China's high-speed rails traversing from east to west, forming a high-speed rail Silk Road in western China. Perceiving 1,000 years at one step, covering 10,000 li at a glimpse, the once arduous trek and trudging journey on the Silk Road has become memory of yesterday. Today, countless tourists from home and abroad are going on the golden section of the road, seeking a spiritual homeland of the Silk Road civilization and recording a new chapter of communication in human civilization. Silk Road in Symphony, Gansu in Harmony.
Many thanks to Mr. Hao. As you know, China is a country with rich culture, and I think it's a good idea to visit various places in China, including Gansu province, and you'll be really proud of our own motherland. Our next guest is Mr. Zhang Wenbin, the Vice Governor of Hubei province. Honorable Mr. Ho Hewah, Chairman Gao Yunlong, Distinguished Chief Executive Mr. Hoya Singh, and Ms. Pansy Ho, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very glad to meet all of you by means of this video. On behalf of Hubei Provincial People's Government, I would like to extend my thanks and best wishes for the forum, and many thanks to the government of Macao SAR and the World Tourism Organization, who have long been supporting Hubei's development tourism industry, and all the guests, experts, scholars, and friends. Thank you so much. During the battle against COVID-19, Wuhan City and Hubei Province became the country's main battleground for fighting against the pandemic. We received significant assistance from fellow countrymen in Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, overseas Chinese, and foreign friends. And we in Hubei will always bear in mind this precious friendship. Hubei is situated in central part of China along the middle reaches of Yangtze River with beautiful sceneries. The whole province covers an area of 185.9 thousand square kilometers with a population of over 61 million. The total output value reached renminbi 4.58 trillion yuan in 2019, ranked 7th in the country. With abundant natural resources, Hubei is an important production center of commodity grain, cotton, edible oil, and also we are situated in the transport strategic point. Is an important communication hub of water, land, and air transport, linking up east and west, and also has the biggest pivot for through transport by railway and water. Being the favorite destination for tourists at home and abroad, Hubei is also famous for its richness of brilliant and significant tourist resources in the world. Mountain is the backbone of Hubei. Hubei is embraced on 3 sides by mountains, namely Wulingshan, Wumushan, Dabieshan. With the forest coverage rate reaching 41.6%. We have the world's most typical landscape of high mountain and valley. The Yangtze River traverses Wushan Mountains from west to east, shaping the grand and magnificent 3 gorges, also known as Sanxia. Qingba Mountains are lying in the northwest with peaks rising one higher than another, among which Mount Wudangshan is well known for Kung Fu. We also have Shenlongjia Forest Region, which is honored with the title of World Natural Heritage Site. And we also have typical karst landscape, which is known as the Colorado in the east. It is called Shi'en Daxiagu, Great Valleys of Shi'en. The eastern, located in the northeast along the borders of Hunan. We also have Dabieshan. Water is the vessel of Hubei. Hubei has long been known as the province of 1,000 lakes. The Yangtze River, the world's third biggest river, runs across 26 counties and cities in Hubei, stretching 1,061 kilometers. The whole province owns more than 4,000 rivers. The total area of lakes amount to 2,706 square kilometers. Liangzi Lake in Wuhan is the largest lake of grass type in China with the most species of aquatic plants. Wuhan City has the longest riverside park in the world. And the East Lake, Donghu, the biggest urban lake in China, with a total length of 101 kilometers. The East Lake Green Lane has a well-deserved reputation of city's green heart. Culture is the soul of Hubei. Hubei has a long history and splendid culture. When visiting Hubei Museum in April 2018, President Xi Jinping said many times that Jingchu culture is an important part of the long-standing Chinese civilization, playing a decisive role in the developing history of Chinese civilization. Hubei is one of the most important birthplaces of Chinese nation's splendid cultures. Jianshi, standing man, dating back 1.95 million years or 2.15 million years ago, is presently discovered to be the oldest human being in mainland Asia, 8,000 years ago. Emperor Yan, Shenlong, the ancestors of Chinese nation were born here. This is where Chu Kingdom boasts its 800 years of history. And we also have many historical stories of three kingdoms in Hubei. Revolution of 1911 fired first shot in Hubei as well. Also, we have many famous celebrities and historical figures in Hubei. And we also have the Tu Miao culture in the west of Hubei province. Now, Hubei province is promoting epidemic prevention and control as well as socio-economic development as a whole, and striving to compose Hubei's answer sheet to revitalize and developing with high quality after the pandemic. In order to speed up the recovery of tourism economy after the pandemic, Hubei launched with Love Visiting Hubei activities. Nearly 400 scenic spots in the province are open free to national tourists, being grateful to the people who supported Hubei. Tourism businesses recovered better than expected. As of 30th November, the total number of visitors to scenic spots was 60 million, and the comprehensive income of the scenic spots was 5.82 billion yuan, 82% of which reached or exceeded the reception level in the same period of last year. Travel agencies received a total of 12 million tourists, an increase of 125% higher than the national average. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this forum is Solidarity as an Innovation, Reshaping Tourism in the New Global Economy. It is of great practical significance to explore how the global tourism and tourism industry can face the current challenges to restart and reshape the tourism industry. President Xi Jinping has referred to the community of shared future for many times in different international occasions. Hubei province is willing to work with all parties to promote the inclusive and sustainable development of global tourism in the spirit of openness and to promote the construction of a new type of exchange and cooperation, reshaping a relationship with win-win as the core. Here I promote 4 proposals. Firstly, help tourism businesses overcome difficulties. Hubei province is introducing active policies to do that. We support cooperation between financial businesses and large tourism businesses. We encourage financial institutions to innovate financial products, to reduce financial costs, and to provide necessary liquidity support for businesses. For small and medium-sized tourism businesses and individual merchants affected by the pandemic, we are carrying out activities of preferential policies to drive their operation to promote catering, transportation, accommodation, and other industry to recover. Secondly, support scientific and technological progress in tourism. Tourism businesses are encouraged to use new scientific and technological means to carry out product innovation and to facilitate, upgrade, create digital travel, and cultivate intelligent tourism attractions, resorts, hotels, villages, and cities. By supporting the application of internet in tourism industry and taking advantage of the opportunity of the new information technology, such as 5G, Hubei is striving to cultivate new consumption patterns. Thirdly, promoting the transformation and development of tourism industry. We're strengthening the cooperation of international organizations, governments, and enterprises. We're building a diversified and cross-domain tourism industry cooperation mechanism and platform. On the one hand, we should transform and promote the traditional tourism products, enrich the connotation of tourism experiences. On the other hand, we are actively create a new form of tourism. We're cultivating a new industry chain and expanding a new broad space for the tourism market. Fourthly, strengthening post-pandemic tourism market cooperation. We look forward to further strengthening cooperation between Hubei and the various regions and tourism organizations participating in this forum. After the pandemic, we would like to establish a good interactive mechanism of mutual distribution of tourists and reciprocal practices to jointly carry out international tourism publicity and to provide new impetus for the recovery of the world tourism industry. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely look forward to sharing the insights of tourism economy revitalization, the rich experiences of tourism industry from the Hubei province. And together, we can promote the reconstruction of Hubei's world-class tourism destinations through this forum. We also sincerely hope that the Macao SAR government, the UNWTO, and all the guests will continue to support the development of Hubei's tourism. We warmly welcome tourists from home and abroad to visit Hubei. I sincerely wish this forum a full success. I wish you a very good life and very good health. Thank you.
谢谢张省长。
Thank you, Mr. Zhang, for such an excellent introduction to Hubei province. And if we do not have the lockdown of the Wuhan city of the Hubei province at the very early stage, China could not have contained the pandemic in such an efficient way. Let's have a round of applause to thank the Hubei people. Now we will invite our next online guest, who is Minister of the Ministry of Tourism of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Ahmed.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Global Tourism Economy Forum, live from Macau and around the world. 2020 has been one of the most challenging years on record for travel and tourism sector. According to the UNWTO, we are facing an estimated 60 to 80% decline in the international tourist arrivals compared to last year, and over 100 million tourism jobs are at risk around the globe, according to the World Travel and Tourism Council. These unprecedented challenges have highlighted the importance of tourism as a unique driver of economic and social value. Before the pandemic, the World Travel and Tourism Council estimated that travel and tourism contribute $8.9 trillion to the world economy, representing 10% of global GDP, and it employs 330 million people, equivalent to 1 in 10 jobs on the planet. Given tourism's economic might, the world is looking to our sector to work together to drive a fast recovery, not only to protect jobs and ensure that it remains a driver of socio-economic development in some of the world's poorest communities, but also to protect critical sources of cultural connection and quality of life. I'm proud to say that our sector has risen to this challenge. In coming together to address the challenges presented by the coronavirus pandemic throughout the G20 tourism meetings, we have taken unprecedented steps to bring the private sector into the corona conversations, to highlight the private sector as a major driver of our sector, demonstrate solidarity, and to build collaborative and innovative solutions. For the first time ever, the G20 tourism track convened leaders from the travel and tourism private sector and ministers from across the globe. We worked with the World Travel and Tourism Council on the 100 million jobs recovery plan to provide the sector with a way forward to safely restart international tourism. Saving jobs can only be achieved through enhanced international collaboration, common protocols, and testing procedures to minimize uncertainty and boost consumer confidence. To this end, our discussions also focus on safe and seamless travel, on how to leverage technologies and innovation in response to the crisis, as well as how to improve the passengers' experience in the future. This resulted in a reported by the OECD outlining innovative solutions to the pandemic to reduce contact points during the travel to minimum person-to-person contact and digital health check at airports for increased health and safety. Such solutions will be critical in coordinating the opening of international borders in a way that is safe, seamless, and secure, while giving travelers the confidence and certainty to book trips and see the world again. In Saudi Arabia, we have successfully implemented technology and contact tracing applications in support of this goal. To help tourism unlock its potential to create jobs, the UNWTO produced the Al-Ula framework for inclusive community development through tourism, rooted in the Sustainable Development Goals. This priorities human capital development, innovation, and entrepreneurship, and the inclusion of local communities in the process of rebuilding our sector, while strive to preserve the environment and culture and cultural heritage. Looking beyond G20 countries, we also welcome the Community Tourism Initiatives, a fund to unlock the potential of communities for tourism globally, and that will create employment opportunities and long-term resilience for smaller, non-urban communities, focusing on those living in areas with high tourism potential but a lack of infrastructure and know-how. It will enhance human capital development through technology-enhanced capacity building programs. At home, we have worked hard to unlock the full potential of Saudi Arabia's tourism sector and to create new opportunities for all, both economically and socially. We have continued to lay the foundation for the thriving tourism sector as a key pillar in our national efforts to open our country to the world. One of our main ambitions is to improve the quality of life for every Saudi citizen and resident. The opportunity for empowerment, education, and entrepreneurship offered by the tourism sector form a key element of this ambition. In Saudi Arabia, our tourism industry is young, then most of our growth potential is exponential. It is only a year since we launched our first international tourist visa, opening up to travelers from around the world. Within the first 6 months, we issued over 450,000 visas, demonstrating the strong demand to come and experience Saudi Arabia's beautiful landscape and authentic culture at the crossroad of three continuity. Saudi Arabia sits within a vast region with a dynamic population, a rich history, and exciting offering. Despite the global pandemic limiting international travel, we have not rested in our mission to realize our vision. Instead, we have focused our efforts on enabling safe domestic tourism while building strong foundation for future growth. This summer, we launched our largest ever domestic tourism campaign, Saudi Summer, inviting Saudis to discover the wealth of experiences and unparalleled nature beauty on our doorsteps. Once again, the private sector have been at the heart of this effort, with around 100 companies supporting the campaign and launching new products. The priorities, travelers' safety. The response to the campaign was enthusiastic, with occupancy rate reaching 80% in targeted destinations. We also launched the first cruise on the Red Sea this August, and I had the pleasure of experiencing firsthand the restart of the cruise industry. Project like this demonstrates that the kingdom is open for business, and importantly, that represents a fertile investment environment for domestic and foreign business alike. The ministry is working hard to enable the private sector as a key partner in the development of our tourism products. At the same time, maintaining a focus on people and protecting their livelihood is vital to ensuring that tourism remains a sector of people with relative low barrier to entry. Tourism is unique and inclusive. It provides opportunity to empowerment, education, and entrepreneurship to people with different backgrounds and skill sets, and is a big driver of inclusively with women, youth, and rural communities being major contributor to tourism. Before the pandemic, WTTC estimated that the travel and tourism sector would create up to 100 million jobs over the next decade, achieving the required community to build a new innovative model for human capital development in line with today's rapid pace of changes, technological development shift, environmental and climate change, globalization, and rising inequality are all shaped in the future of our work. As a human capital intensive sector, tourism must respond to these challenges or changes. So it continue to generate quality empowerment and support entrepreneurship. We must remain ahead of the curve, responding to the efforts or effects of advancement in robotic and smarter technology to ensure that jobs are not destroyed and to ensure we have the skills to maximize the opportunity and potential to these technologies. An agile, flexible, and forward-looking approach focus on retaining and reskilling employees that align with these challenges will help to future-proof the sector workforce. Embracing technology and innovation is also crucial to transform the travel experience in a way that responds to growing demand and evolving consumer wants and needs. Innovation in seamless travel, like biometric and the use of digital identity extended beyond the immediate pandemic, respond and provide solutions to capacity constraints combined with strong growth projections in the international travel. In Saudi Arabia, we aim to be the forefront of tourism and hospitality development, pioneering some of the most ambitious and innovative projects in the world. Giga projects like Qiddiya, the Red Sea, Neom, and Amala leverage Saudi Arabia's greatest resources, imaginations, ambition, and vision to create a new blueprint for sustainability and livability that can be replicated worldwide. These projects, along with other initiatives, such as those supported by the recently launched Tourism Development Fund, are crucial to achieving the targeted that we have outlined in our national tourism strategy. They also present sample opportunity for foreign and domestic companies alike to invest, and we are working hard to enable the private sector to support these exciting projects. The coronavirus today will focus on building solidarity and embracing technology to reshape tourism in the new global economy. We will hear from leaders in the sector about how to leverage innovation and technology to ensure that tourism development remains sustainable and that the benefits are shared by all. We will also discuss how to forego a path forward based on solidarity and collaboration, not just between the private and public sector, but also by engaging local communities, a setup which ensures sustainability development. Ultimately, our shared goal is for the sector to emerge to be stronger, to be more inclusive, sustainable, and resilient in the future. Thank you all for your active participation and engagement today. I hope you enjoy a productive and meaningful forum, and I look forward to welcome you to experience the wonder that Saudi Arabia to offer in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
And the collaboration to help us find a way forward. So solidarity is exactly what we need. 接下来有请线上的嘉宾，世界旅。
Next, may we invite the President and Chief Executive Officer of WTTC and the Honorary Chairman of GTEF, Ms. Gloria Guevara Manso.
To be part of the opening this year of the GTEF 2020 version. I want to thank Macao SAR as the host for the GTEF this year, and thank especially the forum chairman, Mr. Ho Hao Wan, and my friend Pansy Ho, Vice Chair and WTTC member, for inviting me. Travel and tourism, it's a crucial sector for the global economy and the prosperity of communities around the world. We contributed to 10% of the global GDP last year, And travel and tourism supported 1 in 10 jobs in 2019. As we pause international travel to contain the spread of COVID-19, our sector, of course, took a hit, and it was devastating. As probably you have seen the numbers from WTTC, 143 million jobs have been impacted so far, and by the end of this year, that number is going to increase to 174 million jobs globally. And despite all those challenges, we hope to bring back some of those jobs sooner than later. I'm delighted to see the great recovery in China and some parts of Asia. And it is very clear that we need to learn from that experience. We need to learn from that example. At WTTC, we like to analyze the past, and we look at different situations and crises around the world in the last 20 years. And that's how we came up with 4 principles that we believe are crucial for the recovery. The first one is the international coordination. Public and private coordination is key to recover and to manage this situation. We need to learn from the past and avoid the mistakes that we made, for instance, in 9/11, so that we can recover faster as we did in the financial crisis. Second, we need to include in the seamless travel experience the testing component, as the most successful nations in Asia have done it. If we can do testing before departure and have an international testing protocol, we're going to be able to isolate the people infected before a vaccine is widely available and is spread around the world, and remove the quarantines. Third, we need to adopt standard protocols, global protocols that will allow us to rebuild trust from the traveler in an efficient way. We need to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that we made in 9/11, where we had different protocols around the world, and it took us longer to recover. And four, we need to continue the support from governments so that we can recover faster. As not all the sectors have been impacted at the same level, travel and tourism has been impacted the most. We need to look at especially the things that are working in some countries and learn from the past so that we can accelerate this recovery, as I said before, and not wait for a vaccine, as it has happened already in China very successfully. In our recovery, we need to continue working as well in sustainability, as this agenda with the digital agenda has been accelerated. On the October 7, during the G20 meeting, we made history. Saudi Arabia, who is the chair and has the presidency of the G20 this year, invited for the first time ever 45 CEOs and the private sector to participate. We made history because it was the first time that the private sector presented also a plan for request from Saudi Arabia in conjunction with the public sector to recover 100 million jobs. This plan has 12 commitments from the private sector and 12 things that we need from governments, because it is very clear that we cannot bring back all the jobs that have been impacted alone. We need to work in coordination with governments in order to make it happen. It is very important to remove travel barriers and to rebuild travelers' trust. And this plan is centered in resume international travel that right now is 65% down compared to last year. It is crucial to resume international travel in order to bring back those jobs affected. WTTC has been working closely with the stakeholders in the last several months so that we can recover and not only weather the storm, but we can bring back the jobs and resume travel to the level that we had in 2019 in a shorter time frame. We believe that is possible if we look at what China has been able to manage the outbreak and how other countries around the world have done a fantastic job. If we can copy those models and execute, we believe we can be successful. We took to recovery and beyond, so let us continue to work together on behalf of those that depend on our sector. Millions of lives have been impacted, and only working together we will be able to help them and bring back those livelihoods. I want to thank you once again for having this event. very important under the current situations to bring us all together and to help us to resume international travel and the prompt recovery. Thank you.